In this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 core Klaviyo flows that every single e-commerce brand needs to have within their actual email account. The reason why these are important is because they are basically what sets the foundation of all the traffic that comes to your website. And I'm going to be going in depth on how to actually think about building these flows, how you can actually build them, and why you actually need them in every single account that you actually have. All right, before we start building these out, we need to understand kind of where people are going and how these people are actually moving throughout our actual ecosystem. A very, very poor understanding of where the customers are within your actual ecosystem is what's going to allow you to, get confused. And we don't want to get confused. So in order to build these out, we need to understand how people are actually moving through our flows. So the first flow, the welcome series. Now, when somebody subscribes, we know that they're actually going to get this series. But the thing is, what a lot of people do is they think about it as in people will just go ahead into our email list and they'll just get random emails. That's not the case. They go through a whole entire system on how and where they're actually moving through our actual newsletter. So, for example, the welcome series. People sign up and they start these actual email flows. So when somebody subscribes, they'll go through this welcome series. And then what we have right here is when somebody places an order 0 times since starting this flow, they will qualify for this. So a good example of this is Gymshark. So Gymshark drives a ton of website traffic to their website. So you have this whole entire ecosystem of just tons and tons and tons of probably millions of traffic coming to their website. And the thing is, we're able to tell by just going to their website and then going over to their Facebook, and you see that they're actually running ads. So what does this mean? This means that if we go to their website from paid ads, we're looking around, and let's just say we just don't actually want to buy anything. What's going to happen is you're going to end up getting like some type of pop-up. And the thing is, this is exactly where everything starts right here. So when you're spending all this money on traffic, you need to have a way to convert those people who did not convert. Because like I said, if let's just say we come from Facebook ads and we're just like, this does not look good, but I'm still interested. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and enter my email, and I'm going to just try to learn more about the brand. And there's a lot of ways that people, and a lot of reasons why people sign up to your email list. Maybe they want to sign up for the offer. Maybe they want to sign up because they want more information. Maybe they want to sign up because they want to be a part of the biggest brand for gym wear. We don't know. But what we do know is that a percentage of that traffic that does not convert is going to go ahead and place an order right here. When they go ahead and sign up to your email list and they go through this whole entire welcome series. Another way we can actually collect emails, if we go over here to the bottom of our website, usually it's an embed where you could just enter your email. But we could see right here that we can actually click this and go ahead and enter your email this way. Now that we understand this area and how a good example of how this looks, we'll go ahead and understand that they go ahead and sign up right here. And we know that if they don't place an order, since going through this flow, they're going to go ahead and stay in this flow until they actually exit. So there's 2 ways that people actually exit these flows. It's through if they go up to email 4 and then they go ahead and get this last email 4 and they leave, or they actually place an order within this actual flow, which is the whole entire goal of this actual flow, is to make sure that those people who signed up for 10% off actually go ahead and make a purchase within this first actual sequence, which is the welcome series. And we're going to build this out. Site abandonment, when somebody goes ahead and they're signed up to your email list, they're going to be looking at your website. Let's just say they don't actually browse your products. Let's just say that they just hop on the front page and they're just scrolling around. They don't actually browse your products. That's what the site abandonment is targeting. So the site abandonment is for people who go on our website. They're not clicking any products. They're not viewing any specific products, just like we're doing right here. They may just see a bunch of creatives, maybe some of these, but they're not actually clicking on a specific product. And what's going to happen is it's going to put them in a site abandonment, right? As soon as they hit this X button, like right here, as soon as they hit the X button like that, they're going to go ahead and be queued for the site abandonment. And we have this set up specifically for this demographic of people. The people who went on their website and they just didn't, view any products or add to cart or do any of that. And then obviously they're going to get emails based on, that specific demographic. Within the actual site abandonment flow, we actually configure testimonial emails, we configure case studies, we configure a bunch of different ways to actually convert cold traffic. Because you need to understand that these people who go ahead and they abandon our site, they're a lot colder than somebody who is, somebody who abandons checkout. So it's very, very different. Now, the third one is the browse abandonment. The browse abandonment is for people who are going to our website, they click a product, and they're viewing a specific product. So they're viewing this Impact t-shirt. Now what happens is they'll go ahead and they'll view this and they'll hit this X button. And as soon as they hit the X button, they're going to be queued up for this browse abandonment flow. and that's what's going to queue them up for the browse bandit flow. So they're going to receive send email 1, email 2, email 3, and these emails are going to focus on more of a warmer approach, because at the end of the day, we're going to be showing them that same exact product that they view here in these actual emails, and we're going to be talking about the different ways that this product can actually, improve their gym experience, or et cetera, something along the lines of that. But these people who browse, they're more warmer than the people who are actually colder right here. So this is just the core things you need to understand. Build that principle of just understanding where people are and how they're actually moving throughout your ecosystem. Because this demographic is very different from this demographic, and this demographic is very different from this one and this one. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually build this out within your actual Klaviyo account. I'm actually going to build out these top 3 flows. The first one we're going to build is the newsletter. Now I'm in a dummy account right now, it's called MVLB. And the first thing that we're going to need, and it's very, very default, so every single brand is going to have a core email list called a newsletter. So it's usually the starred one right here. You want to make sure you have a master list for people who actually sign up to your email list, and have this core master list for every single person who signs up. And then if you want to actually use other emails, you can always do that, but you can just go ahead and just stick with this one right here. Now that we have this newsletter, we're able to actually go ahead and build out our welcome series flow. So I'm going to go ahead and create the flow, and sometimes it takes forever to load. And then we have, let's just go ahead and type welcome series. So as you can see here, it gives us a lot of different options. All we're really looking for is just a standard welcome series. So we're going to click right here. And then obviously we just have welcome series standard, newsletter. So what this is saying is when somebody subscribes to the newsletter, that's the trigger, they're going to go ahead and get these emails. We're going to create a flow. And to be fair, the only thing that we need is to actually go ahead and do this, what somebody has done. So this profile filter is going to basically allow us to filter people who qualify for this flow, and specifically qualify for this flow. So what somebody has done, you want to choose placed order, and we can actually look at our little cheat sheet right here that tells us different flows that we need to look out for. But since we already know that how we actually want to build this out, all we have to do is do placed order 0 times since starting this flow, because just like we went over here, placed order 0 times since starting this flow. That's all you need. Now, the reason why we did this is because when somebody goes ahead and they sign up to our newsletter, we want the people who have not placed an order to stay in this flow so they can actually get what they signed up for. Because if we remember in our example of Gymshark, these people signed up for a specific reason. Like these people don't give their emails out to anybody like on the internet. So what we're looking at here is we're trying to figure out why they actually signed up. And how we do so is by doing and sending different emails that actually cater to a specific demographic. So for example, in this first email, we're talking about the offer. We're talking about 10% off. So you signed up, thank you for signing up. And then we're basically explaining to them, hey, you guys signed up for 10% off, here's 10% off, and we're just giving them the offers right off the bat. This first email is exactly where the most people convert, and this is where we want to actually, really emphasize the offer and the reason why they signed up. You don't want to put too much in this actual email. You want to make sure that it's very, very simple. Not as simple as this, but you want to make sure it's very, very simple, very easy to understand, and really you want to emphasize the offer. I can't stress that enough. So you really want to emphasize the offer. Now, when you first build this out, you're going to notice that it says manual. You want to make sure this is set to draft as you build it out. And the reason why you want to set it to draft is because what's going to happen is if it's manual, people will actively start to get queued up for this flow while you're actually building it out. And you don't want that to happen because obviously, hopefully you have another newsletter that you already have that's set up and it's very old and you just have it for people who are actually signing up. But for this in particular, we want to build it out. We want to make sure that the flows are actually, configured. The offer is here. It's completely branded. It doesn't look like this right here. It's really, really ready to actually, go out. And the thing is, you could keep it manual, but the reason why we like to keep it as draft is typically we have another welcome series that's set up, and we can go ahead and just send them to that welcome series while we build out this one and make sure it's all ready and set to go. That's usually what we do when we go ahead into these different e-commerce brands and see that, they really could use a revamp for their actual flow emails. So one thing to note right here is smart sending. You want to make sure this is turned off. And the reason why you want to turn it off is because with your welcome series and other flows, these are high priority flows. So they're very, very personalized to where the customer is in the customer journey, just like we see here. And they're more personalized than campaigns, arguably, because they're tracking a specific, area where the actual customer is actually traveling through. So for example, if you go ahead and you turn smart sending on for an abandoned checkout email, it's going to skip those people who received the email within the last 16 hours or whatever you have it set to. And the reason why that's a problem is because those people who abandon checkout, they're right on the brink of actually making an order. The last thing we want to do is get rid of our last Hail Mary to basically go ahead and convert that person. So in practice, how this looks is if this is turned on, and let's just say we send an abandoned checkout email, and they qualify for smart sending, they're not going to get this email that would otherwise convert them. So what we do is we turn them off for these type of flows because we know that these people need to get these emails. They don't need to, but it's very, 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 very recommended that they get these emails because they're literally on the brink of actually making a purchase. And I would argue, based on the abandoned cart, based on the browser abandoned, these are people who are showing very, very high intent of interest to make a purchase. So we want to make sure this smart sending is actually turned off. We hit save. Now we have this. The next thing we'll do is we will go ahead and configure our email. Now, there's so many different templates that we can go over here, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and choose kind of like a simple template that we can use. So we're gonna hit this, hit save. It's gonna bring us to this page. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose our template. So we're gonna go ahead and drag and drop. And let's just go for this Mother's Day one. So we're gonna use this template. And now, as you can see, we have this big image right here. You can put your logo right here, image, and right here is where the offer will go. Now, as you see, this is 40% off. We'll just change that to 10% off. And obviously, you just add your copy right here. What I would recommend is go ahead and add 10% off somewhere here. I would hate to cover these beautiful faces, but I would go ahead and you'd choose like a different image right here and then just put 10% off to basically emphasize the offer. That's really the biggest thing to actually go ahead and convert those first people who actually sign up, is make sure that they actually see the offer in bold, big as day, just to remind themselves that, hey, look, you're going to get an offer here when you actually place an order. That's really the best way to put it. And then you could add a little bit more content here and maybe a few testimonials, but I would not go too crazy with actually adding too much content right here. What a lot of brands will go ahead and they will add like 50 different things here, 50 different things here, and it just completely takes away from the offer. We want to emphasize that the offer is the biggest thing in this first welcome email. And obviously you just have this CTA right here. We change this to shop now or 10% off, whatever it's linked to. And then obviously you would go ahead and link to the website, or you could actually link to the actual, you can link the code in this URL. And I can actually show you guys how to actually do that. So we go ahead and we go to our coupon section in Klaviyo. And then as you can see, this is our abandoned cart. And we have the prefix and we have 10% off right here. So the important thing that we need here is the abandoned cart. So this is the code that we basically use to basically implant into our actual emails. The first one is going to look like this. So this is how we link to our specific links within our actual website. So it actually auto apply to your actual website, so that it actually auto applies when they go to checkout and they'll already automatically get 10% off. Then we have this section right here to basically show what the code is if they actually want to enter it at checkout. So how this looks is, if we go over here to our abandoned cart, as you can see here, we have our discount right here. This is what it's linked to. And we have this section right here, which is we're going to show the actual code. So it's going to say use code at checkout for 10% off, and it's going to preview this code right here for us. So that's basically how you'd actually go ahead and make sure that you actually either automatically apply this at checkout, or you can actually go ahead and link it, or just preview it within the actual email so they can just enter it at checkout. All right, now that we have our welcome series like email configured, what I like to do is remove this time delay, like this, not a time delay, but this delay until a specific time of day. I like to remove it because what you're doing is you're basically tracking when somebody actually specifically signed up to your email list. So if somebody signed up and they're usually available at like 2 p.m. and that's why they signed up at 2 p.m. If you wait 2 days, it's going to send that email at 2 p.m. So it's always just going to queue the email when the person actually, signed up around the same area. And you can go ahead and test this out. There's always room for testing, but for the sake of this video, what I wanted to basically specify was when somebody signs up and it waits like 2 days, it's basically just going to put them in the same exact, timing when they actually signed up on a different day. So we don't have a delay here. We just like to send this email out immediately as soon as they sign up, because they sign up for our offer. We want to give it to them right away. And you can go ahead and configure this to 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 days, 2 to 4 days. It's really going to depend on how you actually want to basically go ahead and configure these. So the next thing I would do is I would actually delete these. So delete this and delete this. So why am I deleting these? The reason why I'm deleting them is because since we configured this one the way we actually want it, we want to go ahead and clone it. So for example, we removed smart setting. We put our offer in here. We went ahead and let's just say we put our subject line here. We want to go ahead and clone this so it takes on that exact infrastructure that we put in place for it. So now the only thing that we really need to do is change the content in the subject line and preview text, change this title to email 2, and obviously configure the content within our actual template. Now this is where you actually talk more about the offer, maybe add more case studies, maybe you add testimonials and stuff like that within email 2. Hit save, and in email 3, you basically do the same thing. So this is basically how you go ahead and configure your welcome series. And the reason why this is so important, again, is because you're spending on traffic and they're coming to your website and not all of them are actually making a purchase. With this welcome series, it allows you to go ahead and convert as much of that traffic as possible. And if they convert in this actual welcome series, we're going to funnel them into the actual other flows that we're actually going to talk about. So that was basically our welcome series. And in the next one, we're going to go over the actual site abandonment and then the browse abandonment. All right, so now I'm going to be going over the site abandonment. Now, the site abandonment is probably one of my favorite flows because it's so simple. All we're really doing is taking those people who are going to our website, on our homepage, not our products, going into our website and leaving our website. So how do we set this up? First thing we'll do is obviously title it site abandoned, and then we'll just do that. We'll hit the create the flow. And what's important here is you need to make sure you have this API called active on site. If you don't have this within your actual Shopify store yet, you should have it. It's in every single Klaviyo Shopify account. And what it's allowing us to do is track people who are active on our site. And in this case, we're going to be tracking those people who were active on their site and just didn't actually, go ahead and make any orders. They didn't do any products. They kind of just left, or they're just still scrolling, and we just have like a time's up. So how this looks is we go to add profile filter, what someone has done, and then we want to start basically from looking at exactly what we looked at here. The same customer journey that we looked at here, we're applying that here. So how this looks is we want to exclude people who viewed product 0 times, added to cart 0 times since starting, checkout started 0 times, placed order 0 times, and they haven't been in the flow for X amount of days. So we're basically going to go down this whole entire ladder of where customers are to exclude them so that it's only people who were active on our site and they left the site, right? So we'll go here, start with view product 0 times, and date. So this is basically how it looks, right? So all the people, like when we go ahead and hit save and confirm and save, all these people who were active on the site who didn't view a product, they didn't add to cart, they didn't go to checkout, they didn't place an order, all these people will qualify for this flow. And if they don't, then they'll probably qualify for our browse abandonment, our add to cart, checkout, etc., etc. So this is targeting those specific people who went to our website and just didn't actually go down that ladder. Now, these are very cold prospects. Let's just say they're looking at other brands, they're looking at other companies. They're not sure if they want to actually make a purchase, so they're just looking around. They're basically window shopping at a very colder level, so they're less likely to convert. So what we like to do here is keep it very, very, very simple. Now, what do I mean by that? So if we go over here to configuring this, we'll just go ahead and put this for 2 days. That's typically what we do. And then we go to here to email 1. We want to turn off smart setting because we want them to actually receive this no matter what. And then we go here to select template. Now, the special thing of how we actually convert so many people with this is with testimonials. So again, these are very, very cold prospects who are not very much down the customer funnel. So we want to make sure that these people are aware of how many people we've actually helped, how many people like our products, how many people love our products, and just basically ram them with social proof. I'm not sure which one to choose here, but let's just go ahead and just choose this one right here. This one looks very familiar. We'll hit this template, and basically you'll go ahead and configure just a ton of testimonials. So you'll basically go to the website. Let's just say Gymshark again, and let's just click on one of these products. Find some testimonials, if there are any. But basically, if basically it would be like testimonials right here. You copy those testimonials, make them really, really nice, design them, make sure they're very, very on brand, and you go ahead and enter your testimonials right here into your actual email. We use Figma to basically design all the actual emails, all the content that we do to design our emails, and then we'll go ahead and import them into Klaviyo. But with these site abandonment emails, you want to keep them very, very simple. And we actually don't even give much discounts. We actually don't give any discounts within these because the people are so cold and they're really just looking for a reason to actually buy. And what we found is just ramming social proof in these actual this actual flow of site abandonment, it does so well. So I would just recommend just doing a ton of testimonials. This purple background, we typically don't like to do that. We just like to keep it blank. But this is just an example for the video. We won't actually, give like a discount here again. We'll just focus on testimonials. Another thing that we like to focus on is creating a checklist for our customers. So a common thing a lot of brands have is a FAQ. I'm not sure if Gymshark has that. Actually, yes, they do. So we'll basically get a bunch of frequently asked questions and create a checklist in email 2. So in email 1, we'll talk about testimonials, and email 2, when we do that, we will go ahead and clone this for another 2 days time delay. Clone this because it takes on our previous properties. Move this down, email 2. And then we just basically talk about, all the different, frequently asked questions. And a lot of the times when we say, hey, we created you a list. Obviously, we do this a lot better, but for the sake of this video, I'm just keeping it brain dead simple. Hey, we created you a list, and we'll basically design a whole entire list of frequently asked questions in a very, very on-brand manner within Figma, which is the design platform we use. And we'll basically create a checklist of frequently asked questions, and that basically addresses every single concern that a lot of our customers will actually, encounter. So this is basically how you set up your brand and site. And a lot of brands don't have this because it's not innate within Klaviyo. You kind of have to innovate within your actual account to come to this. But this single flow has given us like hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue every single month. And I would not sleep on the site abandonment. The next one, we're going to cover the actual browse abandonment, which is the next one right here. This is the browse abandonment. Now, the reason why you need the browse abandonment is because, just like we mentioned, people will go to your site and they will view products, but some of the times they're just window shoppers and they just leave your website. We need to have a way to actually convert these people. So browse abandonment is something that's already standard within Klaviyo. It's already built out for us, fortunately, unlike the other ones. And as you know, within my account, this is the dummy account, so it's not going to let us basically create it. But what I did is basically imported it from our dummy, our existing account that's actually active. We imported it, so we're going to go over here to our browse abandonment. Now, this is basically how we have our standard browse abandonment set out. We're basically exposing our whole entire browse abandonment strategy with you guys. But typically, Klaviyo will go ahead and, as you saw in the other preview, is it'll just have a simple setup to basically go ahead and, convert people who are window shoppers. What we do is we split this based on people who have placed orders at least once. Why do we do this? The reason why we do this is because we want to make sure that we are converting people, but we want to actually test things out. We want to see if it's actually more beneficial to send to one audience or send to 2 different audiences. And it's funny because what we found was when we did this split, people who have placed order before and people who have not placed order before, we gave these people discounts, we didn't give these people discounts. And what we found was interesting. We found that these people right here who are non-buyers, they actually converted more than the people who have bought before and they've gotten a discount. So this is something that's very interesting because you think that the people who, haven't bought and people who haven't even gotten any incentive to purchase, like a discount, would actually purchase less, but they actually purchase more. So it's very important to do tests like this. And this is how we have one of our accounts set, right? So we have, when somebody views a product, they've checkout started 0 times since starting this flow. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and clean this out just to show you guys how it actually should look for you guys. So let me just remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this, and remove this. So this is basically how it looked for you. So if we go to this ladder right here, when people will enter this flow when they view a product, they checkout started, place order, adds cart 0 times. Checkout started, place order, added cart 0 times. And obviously you can have this set to whatever you like it to. We're just recently been testing a 2-week delay. You can always just adjust this to whatever you guys feel fit. We like to go ahead and change this to 3 days in the more busier months. 10 days you can test that out, 14 days you can leave as that. It's really up to you guys. So then we'll wait 1 hour. So basically all the people who have they view the product right here and they qualify for this, we'll wait 1 hour to send them these actual browse abandonment emails. Then we'll get email 1. These are for people who have bought before. Wait 6 hours, wait 12 hours, wait 12 hours. This is a very aggressive brand because it's supplements, and we found that working with supplement companies, it works so well to be more aggressive with the audience. They just love discounts. I know a lot of people are against discounts because they're in a different niche, but when it comes to supplement companies, we just send discounts, and every single time they buy, we have 40% open rates, like 2% click rates. Our place order rates and our campaign revenue per recipient is like, all of them are excellent. They've been excellent for the past like 90 days, 180 days. So it's always worth testing, being a little bit more aggressive with different audiences. And this is what we find when we actually work with companies who are in supplements and companies who are in CPG or healthcare, skincare. It's very, very worth testing these different things to actually make sure, because there's a lot of things that you just don't know before actually testing. So we're going to go into this email, and I'm going to show you how this actually looks. This is an example of how a browse abandonment will look. This is an example of an account. So as you can see, this is basically how this block will look. And we want to make sure that we have this block because it's going to preview that same product we were actually viewing over here. So how this looks is this is a dynamic image. So if we hit replace right here, this is where we have the dynamic image. This is where the event.image URL will be. So what that means is, like, if we go over here to categories, you're going to see like this event.url, you'll see a bunch of events right here, right? And this is the event.image URL right here. And then what we did is we basically just copy that into this section. It looks like this. And this is going to allow us to basically see that same product that we were browsing before. So we also link this to like the section on their website. And how this looks, if we hit preview, you'll see that this is the image, how that looks right here. And we even added a section right here where it says take another look at event.name. This is what they added. Enjoy the ultimate snack wherever life takes you. So this will basically say the name of the actual product that they were actually interested in. And if we go over to a different product right here, so I think it's this one. Basically, I'm just demonstrating what each individual product will look like. So for example, this is the sampler pack. Take another look at the sampler pack, and it's linked as well, and it'll show like a different image for the sampler pack. So this is an example of how you should set up your browse abandonment, because it's very, very important to show that same exact product that these people were browsing to them in the actual email. And the display options we have as desktop and mobile, so you can view it in mobile. And if we look over here, we can also view this in mobile as well. And it's going to go ahead and preview that image. And then these browse abandonment emails, we're basically keeping it simple. Like we want them to just come back to our website and finish window shopping. So it's very, very direct, and it's very, very much like see just as nature intended, and a huge CTA right here. And we go ahead and just make sure they see the product if they didn't click right here, just to make sure that they get snacking right there. So I guess the next thing I wanted to basically just cover real quick was the way it's laid out. So this image is basically from just like I mentioned right here, it's very important to just get it straight from here, so you can copy it right here. In other cases, for example, the abandoned cart, you're going to kind of want to get into more detail with it, which is something we can cover in another video. But this is basically the basics to setting up the browse abandonment. And obviously, this is something that's this is obviously a dummy account, so we're not actually sending chicken scratch to our audience. So that's the end of this video, and I hope you guys got the most out of it. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. This is something we do for several e-commerce brands, DTC brands. And if you are a DTC brand and you want your account to basically, be converting as many of these people as possible, you're spending money on ads, maybe you're not, maybe you're running organic traffic, maybe you're running search traffic, whatever it is, you need to actually make sure you have all these different flows in place. And these are basically the top 3 that we basically start with. So that was the end of this video. I hope you guys got the most out of it, and yeah, subscribe. So those were the top 3 flows that you need within your actual Klaviyo account. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you guys are actually interested in doing something like this for your account. It's very, very crucial you have these in place to basically make sure people come to your email list and are actually getting emails and you're actually converting them. Make sure that those people who are window shopping or actually viewing your site or leaving are actually getting converted. It's very, very important you actually have this in place. And if you do want to have these in place, feel free to reach out. Our website is mvlbmedia.com, and we'd love to put this in place for you.